Hey, hi everybody. How are you? I'm sure you recognize our faces. If you don't really know us, my name is Carly. Go
Lindsay.
ahead.
I'm Deborah.
And it's funny because, well, I know for me, 10 years ago, I believe Lindsay will share how long she was with Bodi, and Deborah, we all met through the opportunity at Beachbody, which is now Body. And, all of us have kind of gone on and done some different things, but all of us really met there. And a huge part of our hearts are there. So, with the recent news just a week ago, because it's been 1 week since we found out that Body's been moving to affiliate, it's been a lot of conversations, emotions. I mean, even for people that aren't in this business anymore, it's been a lot. And one of the things that we talk about because we all stay connected as leaders and, coming from the same place is how much things are happening around this. So, really, we wanted to share something with you guys that we all thought of through our growth process and how we could maybe help some people identify what's the next best move. You have a second chance in front of you to really take an opportunity, and you can either stay with Body or you can move on. And there's so much information out there about different companies and the research and leaders asking other people to join calls so they can learn about this business and come with them. And we really just wanted to share a little bit of insight into what we experienced, just having those feelings ourselves and watching it happen, but also like what we've done and the action that we've taken to kind of move forward and work through that process. And it was completely different for all of us. So, Lindsay, I'd love if you share your experience. That would be awesome.
Yes. Hi, guys. I know that many of you probably know me. I'm so grateful to be talking to you all again. I know some of us, unfortunately, have been disconnected since I exited a year ago. But just so you know, my love for you has always been deep and it always will be. And that's one thing I love about being on here with Carly and Deborah is that all of us have moved into different spaces, but this is the type of leadership that matters so much in our lives. We get closer even though we're in different spaces because we love each other and accept each other and want to see each other win and land in a place that feels like home no matter what. So, I 1 year ago transitioned out of Beachbody. I was not forced out because of the affiliate program switch, but I was forced out because I needed to support my family. If you look at some top coaches right now, there's a lot of people that are sharing that they've been there for the last year and a half, 2 years, trying to turn around a sinking ship, knowing this was coming. They just didn't know when. So people that made the transition early on or people that made the transition now, all of us felt the same thing. Extreme fear of, can I do this again? Can I make the right choice? Will I make the right choice? What will people think? What about all the work I've put in? What will it feel like to go somewhere else? And as a single mom and somebody who had to make that decision about a year ago, I know that for me, my heart literally has never pounded so hard in my entire life when I had to make that decision for my family. But I do know that I learned this. I learned that once upon a time, I thought that I was with Body and I could only ever bleed blue because Beachbody saved me from disordered eating. You guys know my story. If you've followed me, it literally saved me from paycheck to paycheck. It got me to be the woman that was strong enough to walk out of a marriage that is now a better relationship than it ever was. Like, I would not be who I am. My life would not be what it is if it wasn't for Body and the relationships and the leadership that I've experienced and been in and learned from along the way. But I knew that I had to shift, and it was the hardest thing for me because I thought that I could never just sell a product somewhere else. I made the misconception that the impact Body had on me, I couldn't receive elsewhere, that I could only be impacted that way once in my life. And I'm grateful that I was shown in a very humbling way that this was different. So what happened with me was a year ago, I was also struggling with trying to buy my house and I was terrified. And Deborah came out and helped me so much with, I'm actually a part of Beauty Society with her. I love both of these girls' products and businesses. I still love Body and I still preach that's the only pre-workout that I love so much. It's the bits and pieces of all of the things that make us us that makes us fly. And if I just followed to where I took opinions or things of others, I wouldn't have the success I do now. So a year ago, I was struggling with anxiety a lot. You guys know that I've joined Green Compass, and it's a hemp and wellness and functional mushroom industry. And I allowed it to save me again. And that was huge for me. I allowed it to come in, save me in a nervous system space, which then led me to decide that it was a space that I could back and get behind to run and replace my income as quick as I did and have a great business. So for me, it wasn't, we always said we bleed Beachbody blue and we can't go elsewhere, because how could I preach it there? And I just want to remind you that still in this moment, even if you're feeling fear, that's still a question you should ask yourself is, what if, like, make sure just that all of us want you to land, not even, it doesn't matter if it's with us. And I hope that that's the biggest like energy delivery that you get from us tonight, is that we really just want you to know that you have so many choices, and that the companies that are shared, there are so many more abundant companies out there as well. And that one place that feels like home to someone else may not to you, but you have a way to find which products move you, where can you lean in, what can you surround yourself in, and allow yourself to feel saved again. And the best part is that you're in a spot, in a vulnerable spot, that you're able to do that now. So I just wanted to share for me what needed to happen for me to make the decision, and then I'm going to pass it on. But for me, I needed to go to a company that I knew was a zero debt company. I couldn't walk into a company that had any debt, and I didn't want a company that was also publicly owned or whatever that whole shebang was. Okay. I know that that was a big downfall at that time. So those things were important to me. I also needed a company that had a high retention rate. And ours has a 73% retention rate. And it's also, this is another part that was important to me, is doing something that no one else is doing. You will not see any other hemp company that's as transparent, because this is such an unregulated industry, and they're doing things that no one else is doing. While I'm doing Green Compass, I also am doing some retailing in other businesses. And Deborah has said this, and I'm sure she'll say it again. We wish that we could make a million of us to do all these things, you guys, because there are so many beautiful options out there. So ask yourself, what's important for me in making a new decision? What do I want to be surrounded by? What do I know I can step in and say I've 100%, like I can share this, I can be saved by this, I can open to this, and I can like create in this space, and then lean in there. There were a couple other things that really pulled me here, but I'm not here to sell you Green Compass. I'm here to help you follow your heart. And if you want to learn more about that, then you can come talk to me and I'll give you all the details. I'll pass this on now to have Deborah share her experience with you. And good luck, you guys.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. I always love hearing your story. It's empowering. So I actually was at Beachbody under Lindsay, and Carly and I were pregnant at the same time, right when I started. It was kind of cool. So that's how far back we go. Our daughters are now 8 years old, and that's that. So anywho, let me start with when I left. So to be honest, I really wasn't some top leader at Beachbody. I hardly had, I couldn't get out of my own way. I struggled to run the business. To me, there were so many tasks there that I never could complete them, and I couldn't get organized enough to actually lift off. I had maybe 1 or 2 decent months over those 4 years that I was there. But I will say that the thing that I got most out of it was the community and the friendships. Like, I still, every minute that I spent there was time that I would never go back and change. Like, I have some of my closest best friends still to this day that I made there, and I had the most personal growth while I was there. I see things so differently now. Like, for instance, when like Lindsay welcomed me to her team and she like posted it on her wall, I was completely devastated and thought maybe people on my in my feed maybe saw it. And I had to go delete it off my wall. I was freaking out because I wasn't there when she posted. I was like in a training. I didn't know what to do. And so that's how far I've come. And now I'm on this Zoom sharing with you guys how I actually moved from there. This was in January of 2021. The thing that kept me there were my friends and the community. I did love the products. I did use everything. I just, as a business, it wasn't working for me. And I actually threw in the towel and thought, like, maybe this isn't just meant for me. And I was fine. I'm like, I guess I'm just going to trade my time for dollars for the rest of my life. And I had settled into that thinking. And then I just happened to be scrolling through and I saw a friend who had moved companies. And she just made the move organically. She wasn't forced out of her. She was like a multiple six-figure earner. I'm a flight attendant by day. She is too. And her husband's a captain. And it was like well known that she made it more than her husband. And so when I heard that she moved and then she was successful somewhere else, I was like, I want to hear about this, like, how did you do it? So she just tagged me in a couple videos and I was like, I don't want to, she didn't even ask me to sign up. I don't want to sign up and do this, but I kind of just wanted to know how they did it. So I'm like, I think I'm going to sign up though. Signed up. And as I watched some of their stuff, I was like, maybe I am going to give this another try. It was a completely different segment of like I was now in beauty and skincare and everything that I was learning, I was like, this is so fun. It's just something new. So I knew that I trusted and believed in the industry. And I had to now trust that like maybe something fresh and new was where I needed to go. And so that's kind of like a little bit of my history. I don't want to like go too deep down there. The company I'm with is Beauty Society. It's been around for 20 years. I'm not trying to sell you on it, but this is just nobody's ever heard of my company. And I don't know how many of you watch me. So nobody's ever heard of it. It's something I love. I'm always the first one to tell them about it. And it's still small. So that was something that really attracted me. People love the products. We have a high customer reorder rate. And I love that I'm not selling to my team. I am not, I'm selling products to customers and clients. And that is huge to me. And then we have residual income with monthly reorders. We do have wellness products now and gummies, and we make everything ourselves. So some of the things that also attracted me there were just like Lindsay said, there are no investors. It's still privately owned. So we don't have anybody bossing us around and telling us that we have to change what we're doing and take away compensation and things like that. And that's huge for me. It's female owned and run, and it's located here in the US. And so those are, and it's affordable. Like the monthly reorders are like $50, $39. They're like affordable for the everyday woman and people love it. So those were some of my reasons. Now, the other things once I got in there, I found out is that I just realized that I didn't have to do everything by myself. And I was exposed to a whole new set of leaders, people I didn't really know who had been in the industry for a really long time. And I was able to see how they ran businesses from a completely different perspective. And that to me was everything. I loved it. I was never like just trying to build everything from the ground up because we had systems. So it's made the path for the last 4 years so simple and easy to plug into. And I've loved it. I love the transition from wellness into just skincare and beauty and makeup. But ultimately, I do know watching all this happen, it's been heavy on my heart seeing people not knowing what to do and what choice to make. And I'm not saying I feel like who knows how many people are wanting to, you know what I mean? Like who knows where you're wanting to go. But I do say just do your own research and know that just because others are researching things for you, that you have the ability to like seek out other things. Maybe not none of them that have been, shown to you. Maybe there's something else. There's multiple companies that I am interested in. Obviously, I'm just focused on one right now. I do have a day job and that's all I can handle. But just know that there are so many other exciting things. And if you are on this and watching this, you're probably a leader yourself. You don't have to just wait around and let someone tell you what to do. So that's strong on my heart. Oh, one last thing. We don't do bridges here. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep going. And every time I'm on a Zoom, my nose runs. So I apologize. But I don't know if you've heard, but we've had a lot of leaders come over that are in the beauty industry, they're makeup people, but we don't offer any kind of compensation. If someone wants to come over, it's because they have a belief and a trust that they're going to build a business here without the bridge, without the signing bonus, without that extra income. Because what I've seen is that they are more trusted by their downline and the people that know them because they know that they're not choosing a place, based on the bonus they're going to get by the people that they're bringing over. And I love working for a company that doesn't offer it to anybody. We don't offer bonuses to have someone sign on. If you want to come over here, you're going to come over here and you're going to do the work, and your success is based on the effort you put in and how and just the knowledge that you have and what you can contribute, and then obviously taking a hold of everything we've got. So I think you guys are in a spectacular position. Yes, it's probably scary and you feel vulnerable, but to have so many choices, I think it's a second chance. I love it. I've seen so many people completely quadruple. Like, I went from being a nothing and a nobody to being like one of, like, when I became my rank, there were maybe 17 people that had hit it before me. So I just want you to know that you can be successful at a totally different place with totally different people. So that's it.
I love it.
Carly.
I love you guys. You're smart. I wish I heard this, like, I don't know, maybe even 6 months ago, but thank you so much, you guys. I wanted to share a little bit about me and where I'm at. What's crazy is I actually am still with Bodi, in the sense that my business still runs there. And I do have a team. I kind of got really burnt out with building teams about 4 years ago, but I love Beachbody. I would still go to Coach Summit and not recruit. As you know, you fall in love with that community, you fall in love with the people. And for me, I wasn't really looking for anything when I decided to kind of do what I'm doing. It just fell into my lap. The money wasn't really there with Bodi, and I was nervous about that. Luckily, I did have a full-time income, but I actually had a friend who was just could not stop talking about patches. And if you follow me, you know I've kind of shared them lightly, but to be honest with you, I've been very fearful because I never wanted to lose my account with Bodi. And that was one of the things that I always felt pressured for. It was like this all or nothing. I'm like, okay, if I share this, I really have to leave. I really have to leave this team. And I don't know why I always felt that pressure, but it was tough for me to actually like fully unload. So I just started dabbling and sharing what the patches with my friends and my family. And to give you a little bit of information about that, the company is called LifeWave. I had never heard of it. Most people have not heard of it, just like Deborah said, with, Beauty Society. And I probably wouldn't know about Green Compass if it wasn't for Lindsay either, but it's been around for 20 years, and they moved into a network marketing model in the midst of COVID. It is worldwide, $800 million of a company in the past 6 months. So the craziest part about this is when I started learning about the business, I just kept that in the back of my mind, but I really needed the product when I eventually got an injury. So what these patches do essentially is, through your own light in your body and the heat from your body, they activate a peptide called GHKU. And what that does is takes any stem cells in your body, which deplete at age 35, and they start to take them out of dormancy, which means that it's healing on a cellular level. I was like, what? GHK what? When I first heard about this, I had no idea what it meant. I did a ton of research, watched probably 40 videos in the same week just to understand what this meant. And I'm like, if this is possible, that means that every living human being needs this. Didn't make sense to me, but it aligned with why I started with Bodi. I was just like, oh my gosh, if this can really help people. I tried it. I love it. It worked. My first goal after that, feeling pain relief, feeling all this stuff, was to essentially get my parents on it. And that was a huge selling point for me. With Beachbody, I wanted to help my parents. It wasn't that there was anything wrong with it, but I couldn't get my 65-year-old mother to do 21-day fix. It just wasn't working like that. So again, when we're talking about other companies, I think all of us are coming from a place where we truly felt like we could share something again and find comfort again with a product that may help not only your parents, but kids, or whatever the case may be. And the sky's really the limit. So I could not say enough about it. I put them on my parents. I realized that the person I was working with was incredible. We had so many similarities. I didn't know anybody. I still don't know anybody doing this. And it's not about that for me. It was a pull from my heart. There was no pressure. I wasn't following anybody. And it's okay if you are, if you aren't, because that community sense, I thought I wasn't going to have, well, I found it. Just like Deborah and Lindsay did too. I found it in the support. I found it in the onboarding process. I'm like, I got a shout out right away. It was all these things. Then I'm like, oh, they have trips too. I mean, it was there's so many things out there that we're not exposed to because we're in our bubbles, right? And again, this is me not trying to sell this product just like it isn't for these girls. But what if I just said no? What if I was just like closed-minded to that? You never know what you can hear and you never know what you can learn. So get on all the calls you need to and want to at this point, and know that you have all the resources here for somebody. If you even want to bounce it off them, say, hey, Lindsay, I don't know, Deborah, what do you think about this? What made you make the switch? We just want to be a resource for you to maybe make a decision that could change your life and be the next step, whether we're in it or not. So I don't know, ladies, I think that's about it. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to share?
I think the only thing that I wanted to share and I didn't say was that, you know, at the same time that I was moving through this transition with my company, with the company, I was also moving through a big life decision and repurposing my marriage. And I said earlier, like, what if somebody pulled together what their opinion and what they decided was the top bachelors for me to choose from, because everyone's opinion is so different, you know? And I love the support. And I truly think everyone is moving with the biggest intention to make sure everyone feels supported. And I love that so much. I think also though, like it's just a reminder that we are all so different. And that with taking like what Deborah said, with what she learned here and then figuring out where she landed it, applying it there, learning from new people and flying. Same with Carly. Same with me. Like, no matter where you land, it's totally going to be on purpose. The best thing Carly ever told me when I was going through these transitions was like, just make the right next choice and you can't mess up what's meant for you. Like, if you're making the choice based on your heart, not based on fear, not based on, you know, our company doesn't do bridges either. And I'm grateful for that, because you don't want to be swayed by money. You want to be swayed by heart and passion and something that you can duplicate. So I just wanted to say that I think this was great. And Carly, you can close it out.
Yeah. Deborah, you good too? All right. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
I think I hear everything. Yeah. I do want to say, I think all of us use each other's products. Like I, I support them, they support me. I'm a big fan of what they use. I use a lot of different products from a lot of different companies. So I think it's just telling that you can band together and be a leader and support each other without feeling like you're in competition, you know?
Yeah. And it's also kind of fun to learn from each other. Like I learn from you guys all the time, watching you go through what you did with the company. Now it's like you have a bunch of set of entrepreneurs that can help you no matter what you choose, because there's always going to be some sort of resource, and it's just really cool. So we're all very fortunate to be in this position, even though it might feel icky. But thank you guys so much for watching. And again, feel free to reach out to any of us. And I hope you guys and wish you guys all the best of luck in your next adventure, or if you decide to stay in whatever you do. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.